there's a bomb that goes off in the States, and that's happened before. Something like that has happened before. Then the plan's going to change. And that's out of your control. And that's the same thing with us as builders. We are just guessing that we're going to finish a job between now and the next 12 months, the next 10 months. So it's important that they understand that. Now, it is an educated guess. We are going off past experience. We are going off things going right. But we can never foresee and allow for things like COVID. We can never allow for things like material shortages, contractors not rocking up, things not going the way that we need them to go. We can't allow for these things. They're just things that are completely out of our control. So that's definitely one thing that you need to communicate to your clients, especially now, because I know there's quite a few of you who have projects coming into completion. In my 10 years of running this business, or it's actually 8 years of running this business, this is the first year I have ever had that I don't have a project coming into completion. The first time I've got a year where I don't have any jobs that are coming into completion. And it's great. It's a big relief. I'm not as stressed. We're not as under the pump. We still have milestones that we're trying to hit and we're trying to achieve. However, it's not something that I'm overly stressed about, which is great. Now, I know that's not the case for a lot of you. I know a few of you do have projects that you're coming into that you need to get finished, that you do need to make sure get done in a certain amount of time, because the clients are going to lose their mind if they don't get into their home by Christmas. But we really need to pre-frame them to make them understand and go, guys, not end of the world. Understand what's happening. Yes, it's going to take 3 weeks longer, but I'd rather finish it properly. I don't want to I wouldn't be letting them move in to their home without paying your final invoice, especially before Christmas. I've had that happen to me before. This, for me, for a project that was a retention amount of $90,000. We let them move in good faith, and then they turn around and they still haven't paid us the retention money that they owe. Now, just keep that in the back of your mind. Everyone's going to be really nice, and you know, it's all on you to try and get this thing happening and working and everything going the way that it needs to go. But just be mindful that people more often than not do the wrong thing by you, even though you're doing the right thing by them. I was speaking to my solicitor the other day, and he was telling me, George, you'd be blown away with an amount of cases I have of people who haven't paid their bill. You'd be blown away for builders. So builders doing the right thing, and the amount of clients he has on his books right now, people not paying their bill, he goes, is phenomenal. Now, if my audio does get a bit weird, because it does for some reason on my computer after 15, 20 minutes, someone just give me a shout out so I can change one of the settings on it. Okay, so that's one thing, just understanding and communicating with your clients. The other thing that I want you guys to do as well is, so that now's our opportunity as builders. Everyone's going to be concentrating on finishing their projects. They're going to be concentrating on hitting milestones. And also, they're probably really looking forward to the break, as I'm sure many of you are. I know I am. I'm really looking forward to the Christmas break this year. It's been a big year, plenty of wins, plenty of challenges, but I am looking forward to having a few days off and actually, a few weeks off actually, and spending some quality time with the family. But in the last 3 weeks of the year, it's really going to be your opportunity now to get a jump on 2024. A lot of people will be sleeping behind the wheel. And what I mean by that is they're not going to be doing things right now that will help set them up for 2024. And I was having a conversation with David, actually, I think it was yesterday, David Vassbinder, that is. And we were talking about things that he can do now to get him set up for 2024. And I wanted to go through that with you guys before we get Shaun on board. And those things are stuff like reaching out to your power base. Now, who's your power base? What a power base is a core group of people that you know and trust and do business with or have done business with before. So that's past clients, past architects. Get down, spend half a day, spend a couple of hours, and I want you guys to call each and every one of them. Call your clients and say, cool, g'day mate, how you going? Just touching base, ringing to say g'day, hope you're doing well. The general chit-chat stuff. Are you going away for Christmas? Are you having a break for Christmas? It'd be great to catch up for a coffee if I find some time between now and the next 3 weeks to see you. Haven't spoken to you for a little while. By the way, we have an opening coming up in March next year. Are you guys, are you looking to build, or do you have any friends, any family? Do you know anyone that's looking to build? We'd love to get in touch with them and see if we can help them through that process. Now, if you've had a really good relationship with that person or company, whoever it was, the architect, and they know how you are and what you like to operate, I guarantee they will go, actually, you know what? Yeah, I do have a project I can put you onto. I do have a cousin, a friend, a brother, a mother that can help you in that process and see if we can get you another job along the books. You'll be surprised as to how many people will actually go, you know what? Yeah, I do know someone looking to build at the moment. So reach out to your power base, past clients, and also architects that you have worked with. It could even be architects or draftees from projects that you have completed and built, but not necessarily spoken or liaised with that architect. You can find the details, look on the drawings, call them up and say, g'day mate, we did this job for you in Smith Street a few years back. Just ringing to see how you're going, what's happening, how you're finding the industry. By the way, we have an opening. We're looking to get some more projects on board early next year. If you've got something that you'd like us to look at, we'd be more than happy to have that conversation with you. And then start getting the wheels turning from there. The other thing you can do is working on your brand. I know you guys are so busy right now, and our next immersion is going to be the brand immersion. And I wanted to do that first up next year in February. We're still confirming the venue and the dates as well. We had a venue locked in and then they've changed shit on us. So it's just a bit of a headache sometimes getting these places locked in, but Christy's working hard getting that sorted. But the reason I wanted to do brand immersion first before we do wealth was because I want you guys to get the year started off properly. Brand is going to be absolutely massive. It already has been for many years, but it's going to be something that you guys can get a real competitive edge on, especially now. We're in the last 3 weeks of the year, and every single person is going to be concentrating on what? Finishing jobs. And they're going to be concentrating on getting that project finished, on reaching that milestone, on doing whatever you're going to do. Set some time aside. You've got the weekend coming up this weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Spend some time on Saturday morning, on Sunday morning, get up early, jump onto Facebook, speak to your PA, whoever does your social media, whether it's you or whether it's someone else that you engage, and schedule the whole month of December, the whole month of January. You can go into Facebook Planner. You can sign up to apps like, websites like later.com, later.com, and you can schedule all of your posts for the whole 2 months. That way you're going to spend an hour, 2 hours, one morning, doing 2 to 3 posts a month. 2 to 3 posts a week, maybe more if you can, if you've got the stuff there to actually keep that going, and you don't have to touch it again. It will take you some time, but at least it's taken care of. When you're on site, pick up your phone, take a photo of something, post it. You don't always have to post at a certain time. You don't always have to have the correct lighting or the right words used. You can do stories, you can do things like that when you're front of mind, because I guarantee you when everyone is on holidays, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be picking up this thing, okay? They're going to be picking it up, they're going to be searching, they're going to be looking. And if you're not front of mind because you're on holidays and you don't want to speak to anyone, well, you're missing a bit of an opportunity there. So take advantage of it. There are so many people that get engaged with us at PASCON purely because of my brand presence. They see what we're about and they want to be building with us. We attract that right people. Now, that doesn't just happen on its own. It doesn't happen. You don't need to have 50,000 followers, mind you. You don't need to have 10. You just need to be posting and presenting yourself as the builder for that certain amount of work, for that certain type of work, sorry. That's what you need to be doing. So front of mind with your brand. The next thing, again, if you want to be strategic over this period, it's the time now, is you can start looking at digital ads. You can start looking at perhaps doing a funnel. I know a few of you went to Marketing Mastery earlier in the year. Robbie showed you guys how to do funnels. You can either do it yourself, you've got some time over Christmas, or you can engage a third party to do it. Now, whether that's through Legacy, whether that's through another business marketing company. I know the boys from Craft Homes, Nathan and Josh, they've got a company that's doing a lot of their stuff at the moment, and they're putting out content at scale. They're starting to implement a lot of the things that we've been teaching. And as you saw at our Vitality immersion that we had the other day, Nathan's taking 6 months off now to build his home, and he's working part-time. And Josh is working full-time in the office, but he's like, I have nothing to do. This is because the two boys are implementing everything we've been teaching over the last few months. That's why I gave them the award. To me, they were the standout as far as everything that they were doing in the course and in the training, that I saw them putting in the effort. Action gets rewards, and I wanted to reward them and acknowledge them for the efforts they were putting in. So have a look at your digital marketing. What is even if you don't run an ad right now, it could mean that you get it set up for next year, so that when January comes and you're ready to start getting back at work, you're the first one there. You're not waiting in January. It takes 2 to 3 weeks before you get the thing live. And then in February it launches. By then, everyone else is doing the same thing. So the whole idea is us to be different, to set that level of best practice and be the standard, so that people go to us and go, yeah, cool, I know what type of builder they are. So there's some little things that I often do to start signing up projects, getting interest, generating some income, because that's what it's about. The other thing that I heard, or the other thing that I did hear, actually, I think it was on a podcast that I was listening to the other day, is every year that you are in business, you should make more money. Every single year. It should be your number one goal. You should want to make money, more money every single year. Now, that's just not revenue. I'm not talking double your revenue. You could have, your revenue could be 2 million for the year, but the next year it's still 2 million, but your net profit goes up by 10%. That's making more money. So find ways to make more money in your business. That could be through increased productivity, so increased projects, or it can be through you improving your current systems and processes to make your bottom line look a lot more healthy. So start thinking about these things, guys, because that's where you guys are going to get exceptional growth, and that's where you're going to make some serious moves and changes, and why you're going to be ahead of absolutely everyone else. I find that most years I've been in business, we always sign jobs up in December. I don't know what it is about December. People just want to get that thing done before Christmas, but we always sign projects up in December. And I've got probably 2 or 3 projects, probably another 2 projects that I'm going to submit this side of Christmas. And the intent would be for me to sign them up, whether it's the last day, whatever it might be, we sign them up now, and then 2024 is set. I don't need to worry about chasing those works. As we spoke about in our in our systems immersion as well, qualifying your clients, really important. Had that conversation today with Dom in our coaching session. Qualifying your clients, so critical, so critical. It's one of my number one ethoses at the moment at Pascon. If you do not qualify to work to our standards, we do not work with you. It is as simple as that. Now, you might say, oh, George, you're lucky you're in that position to do so. No, it's nothing to do with that at all. Because in all honesty, I'd rather be turning over $50 million. But if I'm going to do 50 mil, it's going to be with quality people. It's not going to be with 30 mil of amazing people and 20 mil of shit. Because the 20 mil or the 10 mil or the 5 mil of shit clients will do my head in significantly more than the rest. And it won't make your business worth it. That small percentage of people that will ruin it. Now, you are going to get people like that in your life. You're going to get people like that in your business. It is inevitable, right? But let's minimize that risk. Let's really go and put a big effort in qualifying people before they actually come into the business. So you're minimizing that risk. Then if they turn out to be shit, we will have a process to mitigate that. We will have a process that we can use and say, right, you're shit, here's your breach notice. You're not following your obligations as we discussed, here's your breach notice. You're not paying on time, here's your breach notice. Here's your interest charges. Here's your cost per day charges. And really make them accountable. And if they are continuously breaching the contract, because it is that, it's an agreement between 2 parties. If they are continuously breaching it and not doing what you have asked them to do, then they are breaking an agreement between the 2 parties, and you need to terminate that agreement. It might mean you do not make the $300,000 that you forecasted. But what's better than not making the $300,000 is not losing 100, because that's what happens. In my experience and what I've seen over the years is people will continue to pay you throughout the project because they need you to get to each stage. They need you to continue the build. They need you to progress forward. And what happens with these guys, they wait till the end. It's the last 2 months, it's the last payment, whatever it is. And they go, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. And that's where a lot of builders get burnt. That's where a lot of them go under the pump, and they're trying to work so hard. They're trying to do all this extra work, spend additional money to make their clients happy so that they can hand over the project. And the pricks don't even appreciate it. The way they say thank you is not paying you. But in the same token, if it gets to that stage, it's completely your fault. All these jobs that you guys hear about me telling you, hey, this person hasn't paid me, this person hasn't paid me, this person's an asshole, completely my fault. It is 100% utterly my fault. If everything is my fault, taking great responsibility in your life is one of the most powerful things you can do, because the second you take great responsibility and full responsibility for everything, then you can start to control it. So on that basis, everything is my fault, and I now have the power to control that. On that basis, no one else will ever do that to me ever again. Ever again. There's never going to be a client that doesn't pay me. I would rather get a bad review on Google and say this builder walked away from the project. He wasn't everything he said he was. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. Because my response will be just pay your bills, mate. And then you probably would have got your home built on time. If you weren't in constant breach of your contract, we probably would have stuck there the whole time and done the right thing by you. So there's so many things that we need to consider in building, and that's what this whole course is about, and making sure that we can achieve the most, be the most, make as much fucking money as humanly possible. Honestly, guys, I want you all to be super filthy rich. I want people to come to you and know that they are going to be paying a premium. I want them to come to you and know that everything that that when they quote, they're expecting to pay for a quote. They're expecting that your time is valuable. They understand what that means. They understand that you have a process to actually work towards and how you go about everything. That's what this whole course is about. And a couple of the guys that you guys have been, I've spoken about many times actually, is Eddie and Shaun from BuildKomm. Now, Eddie and Shaun have been with me at Builder Elite now for probably going on 2 years. And it's a relationship that has grown. I've seen them go from literally having less than 5 people at the business to now employing close to 20. I don't know where you're at. You're probably somewhere there. Shaun will jump on and tell you. But now the boys have employed an army of people to deliver their dream and their ambitions. Do they have stresses? Do they have problems? Absolutely they do. But they also have the tools to mitigate those. They also have the tools now to increase their profit margins, to make sure that they're working with quality people. A lot of their clients they have really good relationships with. Some of them they've got shit ones with. This is what I mean. You don't know who you're getting into bed with until it's too late. This is why we want to try and mitigate this. Now, Eddie and Shaun haven't been able to come to our last few immersions. I hope they'll be coming to Brand. I haven't checked in with you yet, but it's something that we've been doing a lot of one-on-one work with over the years and still continue to. And I'm so proud of what they have accomplished in really a short amount of time. You know, they're turning over close to $50 million of work since a couple of years ago when we first started with them. I think they were definitely an 8-figure business when we first started working, but now to take it to the next level is something phenomenal. And they're doing fantastic projects. They're also doing business integration. Okay, so they've got business integration where they've got other organizations and other companies that they're involved with. So one with their concreting business that I put a post in the group a little while ago. So Combo Structures, which does pretty much all of their structural works. We at Pascon have just engaged them for a basement and suspended slab in Bulleen. Yeah, in Bulleen. So we've engaged the team there, but that also integrates into their own business where they do their own apartment projects. They've got their own company to do the whole structure, the whole concrete. They also do slab on ground. So they've got that resi side of the work happening as well. They've also got their business, which the boys are going to be talking, which Shaun's going to be talking about today. And that is the supply chain business where they're going overseas and they are sourcing quality materials at a fraction of the cost. Now, for you guys having gone in on a project to buy tiles at $70, $80, $100 a meter, whatever your figure is, to be able to come back and provide that same quality tile, that same style of tile, get it approved by the owner and pick up 50% on that is massive. Imagine you do that over 1, 2, 5 projects. It is a significant amount of money. And it's not just related to tiles. There's other things which Shaun will get into. And he can tell you about that journey. And we're in that process as well now. Like I've got a couple of our jobs that we've sent them the specs. This is what we want. This is what we're after. Can you source it? They go, yes. I'll get in the samples, put them side by side. Which one do you want? And they look phenomenal. They look the same and they're a fraction of the cost. So nowadays, I used to be nervous getting things from overseas, and Shaun can probably elaborate a little bit more on this than myself. But when I first started in construction, getting something from overseas was like the flip of a coin. Is it going to be good? Is it going to get here on time? Have I bought a box of chips or have I actually bought tiles? Like, what is it that I'm getting? So I think that risk has now been mitigated a lot with just how the world is. The other day I was on eBay and I bought something and didn't even know, but it came from America. and it was here within a week. Like, that's phenomenal, the times we live in to get something from overseas to come here so quickly within no amount of time, no amount of effort. So if you can now mitigate that risk and implement that into your construction business, man, we're talking some decent savings, some decent ways that we can make some money on our project. So what I'll do is I'm going to pass you guys over now to Shaun. He's asked me to drive the presentation because he's still getting all the IT stuff fixed up. But let me just make you the ad. Actually, no, you can just start talking, mate. I'll mute myself and then I'll get your presentation up as well.
Thanks, George. First of all, thanks so much for the kind words. And yeah, I guess to the team that are part of the Builder Elite, I think it's important that you understand that, yeah, I've sort of been on this journey with George since day one. George has taught me personally a lot about how to think outside the box, not in relation to, I guess, building methodologies and building practices, but in relation to business, in relation to principles and work ethic, especially as well, inclusive of Eddie, and the ability to have my eyes opened and look at my business from the outside more than being part of the business has been extremely beneficial to my ability to scale myself as a professional personally and also scale BuildKomm. And thanks, George. Your words are beautiful, man. And it's been a journey to date that I've loved, and I look forward to the future. And I would advocate to anyone else to be 100% motivated and devoted to George's coaching sessions. Enjoy his coaching style, and you will definitely be a better person, both personally and professionally out of it. So
thanks. Right. Appreciate those words as well, mate. Very nice of you to say so. And I'm looking forward to you guys coming down to the next events that we're holding.
We will, for sure.
You have such a wealth of knowledge as well to teach everyone too, because that's what this whole community is about, guys. You're going to go through the program, whether you're in it for 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, however long you need in the program, whatever the next level is for you guys, because there are ascension models within what we're doing here. The idea is that you also give back. And that's what Eddie and Shaun are at now. They're at that point where, cool, we've hit 50 mil, we're doing some really special things, and now we want to start giving back. And that's part of what they're doing here now, because it helps everyone in this community. And first and foremost, it's going to help us before it helps everyone else. I want it to be a resource for all of us. Yes, the boys will be working with other people, and that's the idea. They have a business to run, but ultimately it's within our community of tight-knit builders that are all thinking the same way. And I know as a business owner, they're the type of clients I want to work with. So this is why I'm so keen and happy for Shaun and Eddie, who's not here today, to put this forward to you guys. So what I'll do is I'll let you drive, mate. Do you want me to put up the presentation now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Or just tell me to pause or go back if you need me to do anything.
Yeah, if you can just follow my speech, would be great.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Okay. Tell me, you guys can see that now?
Yeah, I can see it. All good.
Cool.
Yeah, so guys, as George told you, listen, seasoned builders and developers, been around for a while, scaled the business, you know, from zero to hero, essentially off the back of COVID and life-changing since, you know, circa 2020. We have decided to, we have been put in a position as builders and developers to think outside the box. And one of the things which has organically grown over the journey over the last 12 months through BuildKomm, through my affiliations and contacts, which are mostly good friends of mine, is this whole China business, or importation business, I should say. It's not just China. We do also go to Turkey at the moment, and looking into other countries. It's called Project Solutions, and I've pretty much came to this conclusion that the purpose of this business is to provide a concierge service to tier 3 builders at a tier 1 price. Okay. In relation to today's agenda, we'll just talk about Project Solutions. I'll give you a little bit of rundown into some materials, the sales process. All right, who is Product Solutions? As I briefly discussed then, Product Solutions was established with the aim of giving clients access to the same high quality materials and resources the larger construction materials enjoy. Product Solutions manage the material sourcing and supply chains within the construction industry for cladding, glazing, and fit-off materials. We take pride in our experience of overseeing the manufacturing process, ensuring quality control, managing production, and handling freight and logistics. Now, myself personally, I've been importing product from China for the last circa 10 plus years for my own projects, whether it was the first 2 townhouses that I ever did, through to 33 apartments that I have on the go now. I have always had a little bit of fear in relation to importing, but over the last 10 years, I've found ways to mitigate risk to ensure that essentially we get what we pay for. The biggest thing there, well, there's two drivers that are actually a lot more complex than meets the eye in getting the successful delivery of materials out of China and into Australia. They are quality and freight. In relation to quality, okay, we prior to even talking to any suppliers about potential future orders, scope out to the best of our ability their production process, their manufacturing process, and if they don't have the same principles in relation to quality as myself, as a builder and a developer, knowing that I have to put 10 years on the line to the end consumer, I walk out of that factory. I have also went and employed 2 people full-time in China that supervise the logistics and the quality. What do I sell typically out of China? Okay. I sell, hang on, yeah. Flooring. Flooring's huge, to be honest. Flooring is it's a very good market inside of this business. It's something that there is very good value management on, and there is also the ability to buy small or large amounts. We typically have a builder's range of engineered oak flooring, laminate flooring. We can order custom flooring subject to a minimum order quantity. Very popular at the moment is chevron and herringbone, again, because of the value management out of China and the accessories. Second main item we sell is tiles, being majority porcelain internal and external tiles, and the 20 mil external 600 by 600 tiles. Above and beyond that, I have a few very high-end projects right now where I won't name manufacturers or suppliers, but the tiles to procure locally are extremely expensive, and I've went over to China and I've matched them and I've had the architect approve them, and there are very good value management savings in that as well. Next thing, natural stone. Okay, so majority marble, being the biggest popular color right now is tundra gray. Everyone either wants the light or the dark tundra gray, to be honest. It's affordable, it works, but I understand that there are specifications that must be followed. So essentially have the ability to source on a case-by-case basis or project basis, natural stone, whether it being marble, terrazzo, or porcelain slabs. Joinery is another big one. You name it, it can be made, okay? Specialize in laminate and 2-pack, have the ability to supply flat pack or assembled, have a extensive list of installers, which can be recommended to you. Joinery works like everything else, essentially. Check measure, signing off for shop drawings, into production, should land in about 60 days. Joinery can be anything from the average kitchen, laundry, vanity, through to high-end TV units, bars, build your oyster there. So the last 2 major things is windows. Windows, again, is huge. Okay, windows is on par with timber flooring, to be honest, in relation to the amount of inquiries and the amount of orders. I sell more windows than anything else right now. Not down purely to price, but I think essentially, or especially I should say, once the new NCC is out with all windows needing to be thermally broken, that essentially the Australian players won't be able to match the Chinese prices. Windows, yeah, like I said, are huge. Windows, my savings on windows in relation to my builds is a game changer. So specialize in 70 and 100 mil series. 70 series typically has reveals, like normal residential construction. 100 mil series is typically for, you know, more of the commercial space and or apartments. Windows are all custom made, all quality checked, all shipped over in beautiful packages. Windows can either be unloaded at my factory and delivered to site, or again, just for future savings, if a container can be dropped off on site, then it's a little bit easier and more cost effective. However, I understand there are restrictions on that. Last of all, sanitary ware. So sanitary, listen, most taps, unless you got a Rosacella, are from China. So this was actually where it all started for me 10 years ago. Was sanitary, was taps. Taps were just too expensive. Doesn't matter whether you're into Reese or Bunnings or anywhere. Sanitary out of China is elite, to be honest. I have a standard chrome and black range. I have a standard round and square range. I continuously now just import containers of in-wall toilets with black buttons. Hit me up for whatever sanitary, and if I don't have it, I will find it, no problems. This is just an example of what I import on a regular basis for myself, for other clients. Bottom left is Tundra Grey Marble. You'll see all of the tapware. There's a joinery there, so that's that. If you want to quote, this is pretty much our process, right? So you submit plans. Oh, there's a spelling mistake. Sorry. You submit plans and specs via email, I should say. Okay. We'll come back to you with the quote. If the quote's good, we will send you over shop drawings and or samples, which you meticulously discuss, present to architects, present to clients. Until they're happy, we won't proceed. If we're in a holding pattern for 3 days or 3 weeks, I want to sit there. I want to get things right. Because as soon as that order's in production, I'm on the clock in relation to my commitment to you, and I will get it over to you within circa 60 days if it's not in stock already. The email is sales@peaceSolution.com.au. And yeah, that's a little overview of Product Solutions and what it offers. And thank you for that, George.
Excellent, mate. Well done. I think that's very informative. It doesn't need to be. It's nice, short and sweet, and direct to the point. What I might do, guys, is I've got questions, but what I'll do is I'll open it up to you guys. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask Shaun any questions about this process, concerns that you've had, and it's an open forum. So let's get them happening if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, I can get started with it.
I got a question for you. Shaun, you may mention, apologies, lots of things going on at the moment. Supply chain delivery times. I think I heard 60 days. Is that correct?
Ed, listen, it's approximately 60 days. It all depends on what material it is, what the quantity is. Funnily enough, if it's a full container loader, if it's a larger volume, it will actually leave a little bit quicker. If it is a smaller load, then it will need to go into a mixed container, which typically takes a little bit longer to pack, but most importantly, actually get through customs on both ends. So I would always say 60 days from ordering, I should have the goods here in my possession or your possession in Melbourne. But there are exceptions both ways, to be honest. If it's like, as an example, if it's really high-end joinery, it might take 60 days to manufacture plus shipping. If it's something that I have in stock, you can have it tomorrow. Now, I've started to collate some stock. Like I actually have, a fair bit of equity sitting there in stock, because my construction business and my friends all started to buy the same thing, ironically. And I almost have like a shopping center right now that my construction business just goes and takes. They want a tap, they take a tap. They want flooring, 60 meters, it takes 60 meters of flooring, and they go do that unit.
So in the context, if you're buying things that's not on the shop floor, and
approximately 60 days from order.
Yeah, 60 days from order. And with respect to managing just-in-time deliveries, you would have to effectively have multiple orders based on the kinds of products that you're ordering. So you may not want the kitchen to arrive before your windows are arriving, for example. You want to achieve lockup before you install your kitchen type thing. So you're staggering that out, and staggering the, okay.
100%. So like myself as a builder, right? I have projects. I have a project in hire right now. okay, 12 townhouses that I'm in frame stage. I have windows arriving next week. I have joinery currently in production due to arrive, I think it was end of February. And that's all been worked backwards from my program. Just to give you another example there, I needed just over 2 full containers of tiles that I managed to speak to the joinery company and said, hey, listen, you need to somehow put this 100 square meters of tiles in a container for me. Find some space. Worst case, if you need to flat pack a cupboard or two to find me that volume, do it.
What about light gauge steel and structural steel? Have you engaged in any? And is there a
Listen,
reason why?
I have looked heavily into it.
Mhm.
One of my best mates is Tal from Light Gauge Steel Solutions. I have had open and honest discussions with him about light gauge steel. I was considering even to look into starting a light gauge steel business during that whole timber saga back in the day. Too many players. You never know what you're going to get with the commodity from overseas. Okay. And I sort of came to this realization in my heart, which I think was, sensible for myself, that I will never know hand on heart how that steel is manufactured, how much deflection is in that steel. And it's not something that you won't know until retrospectively down the track with your structure, once people have moved in, and it's too much of a risk. And it's just not what I do for a living. And I didn't want to put my finger in that pie.
So applies to structural steel, basically based on answer.
Correct. Correct.
And with respect to the sanitary, where are they wells rated?
Yeah, Wells, Australian standard, of course, mate.
Okay, cool. That's all I had, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Anyone else got a question? I'll kick it off. So with joinery, for example, what happens when there's an error, say with the cupboard, doesn't fit, there's a door, it's a panel that's been scratched?
I think you know my answer to that one. And thank you for setting me up here to succeed. Okay. I come from a joinery background. I started being a builder and then a developer off the back of my joinery background in the joinery business. I still have a joinery business. Okay. It services my construction business and only my construction business. I have friends that ask me very nicely to make kitchens for them that I very politely refuse because it is not what I do for a living. Okay. However, if the cupboard comes broken, damaged, the incorrect size, I have panel saws and staff that manufacture and install my joinery day in, day out. And I'm importing projects now from China with surplus materials. And I do have the occasional error. I had one the other day where I'm the builder, I'm the importer, I'm the joiner. Okay, this nib on this wardrobe just appeared out of nowhere, 90 mil. I'm like, what's easier for me to do here? Cut the cupboard down or pull the nib off and get the plasterer back? I decided to cut the cupboard down. Okay, joinery is my strength. Joinery is something I'm very good at, and I have the infrastructure behind me to adverse risk for everyone. I would not tell you something, guys, okay, that I haven't tested and tried on my projects for years. Okay, and this business organically started off myself testing and trying, my friends seeing my success, my friends being builders, developers saying, hey, can you help me? Times are tough since COVID. I then understood that, hey, this is something that I can't make a decent whack on. Please understand, I'm not doing this business to make a lot of money. I'm doing this business to demonstrate to my suppliers in China that I have better turnover to save us all money over the journey, but most importantly, get smaller orders out of China. That's how I make tier 3 builders, hopefully, get supply chains like tier 1 builders.
Yeah, that's excellent. And it's important to know that too, because having that cabinetry business within your integrated organization is massive, because now you can actually go, cool, we've got an issue, we can solve the issue right away. And it's a question you've got to ask, because it could happen on any of the jobs, and mistakes happen all the time. But now you guys have a level of confidence to say, cool, if a panel rocks up and it's scratched or it's broken or it's the wrong size, well, the team now have the ability to fix that, rather than you having to wait another 60 days to get the next panel in or to get the next shipment in whilst they come and fix it. So there's people there to be able to help you with that.
And just to touch on that more, George, okay, I'll just give you another example, okay? I have learned and I have system and process in this business behind the scenes. But as an example, if you're going to order 30 sheets or 30 slabs of tundra grade marble from me, I'm going to order 35. I'm going to order 36. Okay. I'm paying for those extra 5 to 6. I'm doing that to mitigate risk. So if one of your slabs does stuff up, whether the stonemason stuffs it, it's stuffed during delivery from overseas to Australia, and the list goes on. Even a stupid cutout is wrong. Okay. I've got the material there to supply to you to get you out of the shit. And I'm happy to consolidate that. And I'm happy to use it on my projects down the track. But I always buy extra materials or parts and store them to mitigate the risk. Because the last thing I want to do is put myself in a detrimental, I don't know the word, but in a situation where I've let someone down.
The good thing about that too is, say with the tundra, you just said it, touched on it earlier, it's such a popular color now. We're seeing it in heaps of our architectural builds. This is the other thing, guys. You can now go, okay, we've allowed a Caesar stone or a manufactured stone in your job. You could even offer your clients a better quality product for a lesser price or for the same price, or make a little bit of money on it. You're giving a better product, which then in turn works for you as a builder. What a great builder. They got us marble for the same price as a manufactured stone.
Well, listen, George, as you know, my core business is property development now. Okay. And that was essentially, and that's the whole model. I will provide for the same price, okay, a better place of residence. I will upgrade your finishes for the same price. Not saying like all these ads are here online that I'll give you a free color bond upgrade of a roof. It's like, no, what the end consumer really touches and feels and lives in, I will upgrade, and it won't cost you anything extra.
And that's very powerful from a brand perspective. It's hugely powerful to what you guys are doing. You can even use that from a perspective of in your tender meetings, saying, look, we have buying power from overseas to do X, Y, Z. You could even use the rates that you provided with from Shaun. And is that another thing that you could do, for example? So say with your sanitary fitment, say you give got your black pack, your round pack, your square pack. Can you send the guys, or is it something that's available for them to get like a bill of quantities on what those things cost? Then they can put them into their tenders, and then it's just a matter of calling you up and saying, hey, I need 30, 40, 50 of this.
100%.
Yeah, so that's really advantageous too. I find whenever I'm doing my tenders, guys, if I've got that price list, it just saves me now going out to the supplier with an email, with a phone call. Hey, can you price all this? I just got the pack ready to go. I know the prices. I put it in my tender, and then we win the job. You call up the boys and go, cool, I want this. Some suppliers do that. I mean, all of them can do that if you want them to. The Harvey Normans, E&S, Bunnings even can give you your packs. But if you've got it ready made and you can just go bang like that, such great value. Such great value, and it saves you time on the back end, but also in the future as well when you place the order. And many of you can place the orders early. Like you could order all the sanitary fitments day one and store them in your own warehouse. And then that way, when you need them, you just go, pluck off the shelf, and away you go. Any other questions, guys? Have you ever had any problems with windows, Shaun? So in the sense that, say, something comes the wrong size, what do you do in that instance? Have you experienced many issues? Because you've done...
I haven't had the issue where the window was the incorrect size. I have had an issue where glass was damaged on site and actually couldn't be matched, to be brutally honest with you. Okay, the glass from China has a slightly different tint. I can't go and actually even order. Off the back of this, my lessons learned was, okay, cool, let's go buy a shitload of glass from China and let's store it and let's cut it if and how necessary. I learned from that you actually can't do that. However, during there, I found out how to acquire the glass and get it over here within 7 to 10 days for a very amicable rate.
So again, you're mitigating risk, and I completely agree with what you're saying with the windows. I'm finding that now as well. I'm finding local suppliers cannot compete with the prices you're getting overseas. At all. Like it's so evident to me in some of the projects that we've priced recently. We've had some overseas prices, and I go to my standard guys that I've always used and trusted and happy to use them again, but their price is so much higher that it's like, fuck, I'm literally putting on another 20, 30, 40 grand on the build when I knowingly can get it from overseas. And as long as I plan it properly, or guess it properly. As I said earlier, it's guessing when you're going to need it. But as long as I can facilitate when I'm going to need those on site, you're really going to pick up a fair saving, and it may even win you the job at the end of the day. That's the other thing to consider. It's going to make you competitive in this market. And we want to, like, when value exceeds price, people make decisions. So you guys now need to communicate that to your client. Say, cool, you've specified a stone that's this. We can give you marble for the same price. Okay, we can give you high-end sanitary fitments for the same price. So all of a sudden, people are going to be like, okay, cool. Now I need to start thinking about, well, who's the best builder for me in this instance? And if you can show them that, it's going to be massive for you guys to be able to have that up your sleeve.
How
And
do we
guys,
manage,
listen, just whilst I have you all, oh, sorry, you go.
I was going to ask, how do you manage glazing certificates?
Glazing certificates are supplied from the supplier in China. They have actually got the CSIRO testing completed for it. And yeah, listen, just to answer your question, where you're leading in relation to glass, there's always two parts of China, okay? There's the good and the bad. When it comes to my supply chain, they sit in the top echelon. I spend more time interrogating the supplier than I do placing orders initially. I spend time in their factories. I go through everything in relation to glazing. I funnily enough have Chinese windows at home. It was the first job that I did a long time ago, and they surprisingly, okay, when I say surprisingly, are still amazing in relation to. I've got a big stacker door, 6 meters by 3 meters, 6 wide, 3 high. I can open that door after 3 years still with one finger. Okay, it's amazing. Glazing certificates, when you deal with the best suppliers in China, they are all on the same level of dedication and diligence as Australians.
Shaun, is there any material that you might shy away from, or any type of finish that you might shy away from in the context of a window? You just mentioned a stacker door, for example. You know, when someone mentions
Just double hung.
When they mention bifold to me, I cringe, because bifold in Australia, bifold in China can still be shit regardless. So do you just say no bifold doors, for example?
I have imported bifold doors as long as they are top hung. Okay, they're fine. The only thing window-wise that I would shy away from China is a double hung. Okay, because that mechanism essentially is right now I think it's a kneader that has the rights for it in Australia. And yeah, you just can't copy it. All right, it's just not good enough yet. It's not something that I have this mentality. If I won't put it in my house or give it to my mum, I'm not selling it.
In relation to the windows, I've got a project coming up, for example, and I've got some big windows, double glazed units, which are I think about 3.5 by 3.5.
Yep.
Now, would these come glazed, or would they get glazed?
Listen, look, that all depends, okay? As an example, if you can change the design and put a central mullion, okay, huge savings. I understand that most likely you cannot, okay? But if you can, huge savings. I've been through this recently on one of my own projects where I conceded the saving was too large, okay? If I didn't concede, that window would have came needing to be site glazed. I would have needed to go and get the crawler, because it was on the first floor, and I would have needed to go through that whole exercise. I fortunately enough changed the design to suit, but depending on size, depending on access as well, okay, and also the buildability from your side, between those 3 components, that question's answered. Just to give you another example, there are times in life where I order open air containers, okay? I have the ability of a tower crane there. The tower crane would just lift the windows out in the crates, scatter them on each level. So it all depends on if it can fit into a container, how it will get over here, and also if you can change the design. Yes, there are benefits, and your site access.
And what's the process? Do you just want a copy of the window schedule and you get a price to us?
Yeah. So if you just give me a copy of your working drawings and energy report, give us circa 5 days. We'll come back to you with a price.
I might take you up on that offer.
No worries, done.
The other thing to consider, guys, is the boys do a fair bit of volume. Like they've got the one, they're doing some apartments. How many apartments is it there in Moorabbin that you got? Is it 33?
33.
So you got 33 apartments that they've ordered windows for, and have you had many issues with it?
No, boys, come down, have a look.
That's
Check it
what
out
I mean.
yourself.
Like,
Look at me as a showroom.
that's it. You've got that whole thing. You could almost go through that apartment. You're not too far from completion on that job, aren't you?
I'm I arrogantly say I'll complete in 2 weeks. I think I'll just be after Christmas. The Christmas break, stresses me out. I'm trying pre, but I'm probably post.
But see, this is the thing. You've got this whole project that you've pretty much built through China. And the reason the boys couldn't come to our Vitality immersion, which I know they were hanging to come to, they didn't come because they were in China. They literally go over there. It's not just we're going to speak to someone and get this thing sorted. They go over there to check the quality control too. And it's the arse end of China too. Like I thought China was an amazing place to go to and really, really somewhere I should put on my bucket list. And after speaking to the boys, they're like, "Nah, don't go. It's fucking, it's no good." But
it's purely work.
Huh?
It's purely work.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
They did their thing, and they're actually checking the stuff too. So it's, a lot of people will just want to place the order, get the volume in, try and pump it out as quick as they can. The guys are builders, so they know the pain points of ordering shit from overseas. So now it's not about that. It's about, no, we want to make this process easy for us, but also everyone else.
Listen, just to be real with everyone, okay, the main reason that I started importing materials was because I got let down in Australia. Okay, I didn't do it to save money. And then I started to realize over the journey as my business scaled and I started to buy more finishes, let's call it, that all this shit's coming out of China anyway right now. Okay, so why not go over there? Why not have a look myself? Okay, and then I played around with myself. I stuffed up in the early days trying to save money in China. I'll be honest with you. Okay, but I have tried and tested everything. I have all of this stuff at my own house, at all of my projects. And yeah, you can look at any project at any time as a 3D showroom, to be honest.
Shaun, personally, I've been looking at China as a sourcing agent for quite some time, in Vietnam, and considering getting out there January, February. If somebody wanted to get a really good understanding about the quality that you got, I get it coming here. That's good. Are there any profiles, any different look and feel and finishes that you may not have that might make sense to go there themselves and see what other opportunities are available? Or have you basically filtered out the crap and said, what I'm bringing into you here is probably the best ones, and go with that?
Are you talking about those core 6 products that I presented to you?
Yeah, very different ranges, etc. I mean, there might be different leverages, might be different sanitary fittings.
Yeah, listen, long story short, mate, okay, my father's been in China for the last 20 years. Okay, my father used to have a very big joinery business over there that I ran for the last 10, okay, before we organically changed to being builders and developers. So for as long as I can remember, my old man's been going there, and I've been going there since the age of 20, and I'm 36 now. And over the journey, I haven't met everyone in China. I stick to my core areas in China, okay, being Guangzhou, Foshan, Xiamen, pretty much the eastern seaboard up to Shanghai. I have filtered it out. I have 2 full-time staff there that when they're not busy, their job is to farm me more supplies, just see what's out there. I'm pretty confident, hand on heart though, that I have picked the best of those 6 suppliers. Now, when I say that, as an example, when it comes to marble, mate, I've got 25 quarries in China or Turkey in my back pocket. Okay, I know how to go buy the block, I know how to cut the block, I know how to load the block, I know how to get the block over here. If you don't want 20 mil and you want 30 mil stone, I'll cut it for you. You want a book matched, I know the best guy to cut it and hone it to send it over to you. So in relation to those 6 products, I'm pretty strong. In relation to other products, man, I do still also import other weird and wonderful things. As an example, my friend does outdoor basketball courts. There's another example. In my apartment complex, have this really stuffed up strip of letterbox the architect designed that will cost me a fortune to manufacture here. I got it manufactured. It's currently in production in China. We'll have to air freight it because I ordered it too late. But the saving was, I paid 1,200 Aussie. I got priced here for 10 grand for a fucking letterbox. I'm like, it's nice. It's a feature as you walk into the lobby of an apartment complex, but I'm not going to go pay 10 grand for a letterbox. I'm looking very hard into metal. Okay, obviously louvers, shrouds. The catch is there is no way to standardize anything because everyone will always have something different. Okay, but I am starting to standardize that or modularize that within my upcoming projects. Even my upcoming projects as a builder and developer, the design has changed to being more modularized, more standard. So my boys build the same fucking bathroom on each job. As an example, I've got, I've got 4 types of bathrooms where in the perfect world, I don't veer from those. And I've got a 6, a 9, and a 1200 vanity. And I've just got them coming day in, day out. But to answer your question, yeah, I think I got the best of the 6, mate. But there's obviously a lot more to it than meets the eye, but they're all trusted and tested. China's really good in relation to the weird and wonderful as well, like the letterbox example. I'm looking hard into metal, but like I said, there's probably not enough efficiencies in it. I've looked into everything, mate. As an example, I got a holiday house. I want to go build a massive shed. I'm like, cool, I'll go get the shed from China.
I just did that recently too.
Right. Like, yeah. Like, so.
So when are you prepared to host people to come and take a look down in Moorabbin?
Probably from late next week. I've just got a lot of external. The only reason I'm in hard, but I have a lot of external concreting happening now, and it's an island site, and it's very hard to actually just get into the site. Probably end of next week, mate. Pop down, have a look. My office is next door. You can see my construction business. I'm going to walk you through the apartments and give you a bit of the overview of what's been imported from China and how and why, and I'll tell you about the costs and the savings, and I'll give you, the builder's view, the developer's view, and product solutions view, really.
Well,
I mean, if you want to pick a date, we might just sort of all coalesce at the same time to save you from doing it multiple times. Maybe does that make sense?
I think that's a good idea. I reckon we try. And in all honesty, mate, it's great that you want to do it so soon. Knowing what the Christmas break is like and how much you still have to do before the end of the year, it might be something that's better off early next. But we'll work to your schedule. I'll let Shaun get back to me as far as a date that suits. And then perhaps we can all go down there one day, or everyone that's available, go down there in one day, have a walk through the job, go, look, this is what you're getting, this is what it's about. And then at least you've got a level of understanding as to what you can achieve.
I'd be happy with that because we'll probably travel up from Canberra as well if that suited you guys.
Well, maybe I can even do it
Saturday.
No, well, if you're going to travel up, I'll see what I can do for those of you that are interstate, and maybe we can even try do it around our brand immersion.
Yep, I do have 2 quick questions for you as well.
Sorry.
I do have 2 quick questions for Shaun. I just wanted to, obviously, a lot of that, if we transition that way into ordering all of those things at once, what do your payment terms look like?
Listen, it varies. Typical payment terms, but I am flexible because I obviously do wear your hat as well. Typical payment terms, 30% upon ordering.
Yep.
Like as Windows as an example, 30% upon ordering, 70% pre-leaving. However, I'll be flexible. I understand. First of all, in this community, first of all, I have trust, which is very important in business, I feel, if that makes sense. Typically 30-70, but flexible depending on order, value of order, and type of material.
Yeah, perfect. And the second one I had is currently now, like you said, Tundra Grey is a really popular item that we've got spec'd on a few of our jobs coming up.
Yep.
Typically now our clients will travel to Sydney to go look at slabs. Is it something where obviously China's probably not feasible, but can we still get some photos and still have
100%. So in relation to Tundra, unless you need a significant volume, I have Tundra with everything natural. There's always variations to it. Okay. Tundra I always hold stock of though, because I either have surplus from orders or I use it day in, day out in all of my projects. So if you need, as an example, 5 slabs, mate, I've got it sitting here. You or your client can come and pick those 5 slabs and put it on a truck, happy days. If it is a special order, like super white, okay, I'm importing super white now for one of my projects where it was $1,000 a square meter here, and I'm going to end up importing it, hopefully, fingers crossed, for about $400 a square meter. Huge savings. Okay, there's still a lot of risk associated with the super white because it's actually coming from Brazil to China, China to Australia. So I've still got a bit of a journey there, but they're really good with photos. They're amazing with videos. And I've got a team on the floor there that will go there, inspect it, FaceTime you, Worst case scenario, even send over a sample. Obviously can't send a whole slab over, but we'll send over a circa 300 by 300 mil bit so you can see the quality of the product and the base color really.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is that already cut to size, that stuff, or is it just the raw slab itself?
If you can modularize joinery well enough, yes, it can be cut to size. However, it also does depend on the size of your cutout of your cooktop or your sink. I have done it before for my projects. It's something that I wouldn't do with natural stone, mate. Caesar stone or reconstituted stone, I should say yes, but then I don't know how long that industry will be around for, to be brutally honest. I know that worldwide though, they're making no, they say no, I call it low silica reconstituted stone. But with the natural stone, it's possible, but I wouldn't encourage it unless you're very modularized.
Excellent. All right, guys, is there any more questions for Shaun before we wrap it up? Going once, going twice. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Shaun. I really appreciate your time. Take out of your day to speak to everyone and to see what it's about. Just in closing, I think one of the key advantages as well is Shaun's not importing everything. He's sticking to what he knows too, which is really important, making sure that he's focusing on the stuff he knows he can get well. Yes, he can get letterboxes. Yes, he can get shrouds, but he's focusing on the stuff he can do well. And it's the things that we all use in every single project at genuine volume as well. You know, you do 3 townhouses, you do 4, you do 1 big home. You've got a decent amount of volume that you can import for that particular project. So I think that's an advantage too. Too many people go, yeah, we import this, we import that, we import screws, we'll do battens, we'll do everything. So it's good to niche and have that real sector of the market. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate you coming down.
Thanks, Josh.
For everyone else, we will be in touch soon. We've got our Construction Success Conference on Thursday next week. So if anyone does want to attend that, it's going to be pretty much on the topics that we were speaking about today as far as getting geared up for 2024. It's probably things that are more entry level than what you guys are at. But again, you're always welcome to any one of our events. So if you do want to come, just reach out and Christy will reserve a spot for you. Anything else, I will speak to you soon. Be sure to book in your sessions as well for December because we are all finishing up pretty soon. So let's get those sessions in before the end of the year and set some big goals for 24. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, all. Cheers.